Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Today's episode of the Mike O'Mara Show is brought to you by our bonus packages. Please go to MikeO'MaraShow.com and click on the bonus banner. You'll get access to all of our bonus content, and even better, you'll be helping out TMOS. So please quit sucking, and we thank you.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store, and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
What did I miss?
Thank you.
That was a funny little exchange.
He's funny boy sometimes. He makes me laugh. He pisses me off,
happened?
but he makes me laugh.
Rob is a creature of routine. And
You think?
yeah, we talked about it briefly before the show. Yes. It's routine. And that calms people, that soothes people. People have
Doesn't soothe me.
No, it does not, but people have the routines.
It should, because it's like a structure thing to make sure that...
I'm lying. I'm telling you. I will tell you, no, you are, if anything, you are reliable.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, you're reliable, and that's why that what you've done lately has been a small departure from your normal tell. You are every day. When I connect, you're there. It's your... you're there, and that is extremely valuable to me. I like that too. So when you duck out right after we connect, sometimes
right.
I'm concerned, and I'm wondering about your urinary urgency that I've noticed in the last, would it be month or so, where you will duck out right before the show, and I can only think that you're. By the way, is that a regular sugar soda that you have to your right there?
No, this is the, and I'm still back and forth on it. It's the Coke Zero Orange Vanilla. Some days it tastes good.
So they have a no-calorie orange
Yeah, and sometimes
vanilla.
it doesn't. So I'm back and forth on it. But I like the caffeine.
Well, how would you, if you had to make a final decision on it, what would you, because I've wanted to try that.
Let's see.
Is it cold?
One more time?
Ice cold.
Ice cold.
Ice cold. All right, let's see. Is it a little can, or is it just your meat hooks?
It's this big
It's
mix.
a full-size can. How
but it looks
dare
small.
you?
It hides when you hold it.
Look at it. Hold that up.
Yeah.
That's a great perspective shot for people. Look at that.
He's hiding. Now
He could have. Do you know the sports?
If he
had been given a normal upbringing and not a
Here
from
you
a
go,
broken
Doris.
home,
You hold it.
he could have. You could have fended off linebackers with that.
Look at
Yeah.
my hand is a regular size.
Do you know why, Mike? Because I was always about making friends, not opponents. That's why.
Well, no, you
Using
didn't
my
know any
size
better.
for good.
You weren't thrown to the wolves.
Well, I
you didn't
come
you
from a
weren't
broken
active in
home.
sports.
No.
You know? I understand
soda,
that.
just
Theater
like
sports.
Robert's soda.
Theater.
Let's get back to that was only in high school that you did theater sports. Let's get back to urinary urgency.
Is something leaning on your bladder that we don't know?
The thing that happened before the show, the moment you request, is that I am a creature of habit, and every day, kill all the mics, look for the signal, put the things in motion to start the show. After I hit the third button, I start the timer. And Oscar gets my attention, showing me that he has his own clock and that he started a timer. Like, hey, thanks, buddy, for the backup.
So I spun it around and showed. I was like, in case you need a backup, here's another timer that started.
So
at the same time.
Do you have two timers in there going right now?
No, I have a backup clock. I only run one timer.
Yes.
But there's another clock.
But
in
What does your
technically,
timer
right
say?
now,
Right now, I'm at 3:10 at the mark and mark.
we are perfectly synced.
I have 3:10 now.
Oh, okay.
Right now, I am at 3.
The network is going to
I'm
be
at 3:20
furious.
at mark.
Oh, shut up. Let's do it.
Wait,
so let's talk about your bladder.
3:25 at the
okay. All right, stop
mark.
it.
I got it right.
Let's.
Right on.
Then you got a backup.
Nice.
But you have been peeing more
So
frequently,
dumb.
have you not?
Well, here's the thing. Today we have
Answer the
we have an
question.
early start, and normally the first thing I do when I get here is pee, because I've been in the car for a long time. And I usually have a soda in the car, and by the time I'm at Podcast Village, it's ready to be
bladder time.
better to be released. But today,
By the way, I don't know if I'll ever give up soda pop. Every
the greatest.
nutritionist and everybody says soda, diet soda even is bad for you. You shouldn't touch it. But I'm trying to transition to drinking just water during
Yes.
the show.
Yes.
Even our delightful friends at Liquid IV.
Yes.
I'm trying to drink plain water once in a while, even though I can't stand it. And by the way, the Liquid IV that I have in my house is so tasty.
It is.
And so delicious and so allegedly good for you. And that's because it's got vitamins, not just electrolytes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a thirst quencher. It's healthy, but it does
potassium,
taste good.
sodium. It's got all the things you need.
I'm trying to deprive myself.
Did you get the
a little
sample? And I know this is not a shill for an advertiser. We do it enough. But Liquid IV came out with something that blew my mind. So I got a free sample of one that helps you go to sleep. Have you gotten that yet?
No.
Wow. Dude, 2 nights ago.
Like a melatonin liquid IV?
Well, no, it's the same powder, Mike, but you just put it in whiskey.
No, I'm being
Stop
serious.
it. They're an advertiser.
It's
and you
simply a
can't,
joke. It's simply
you
a
can't
joke.
help to do shtick when we're talking about, are they going to go wide with this or what's going on?
It was a surprise. It was like,
I haven't gotten it. Send me
no,
one.
this was part of my subscription that we talked about that I'm paying for, and
Right.
and then like a little gift came. I was like, oh, is this like a Rogue liquid IV? They're like, no, new sample.
Oh, wow.
Really? Well, but here's the problem. Look, Carla has been telling me, especially when we're taping early, as we are on Friday, to pack it in. It's very, very hard with the sports world and where we are now.
I
By
was
the way,
so
we
keyed
never.
up after the playoffs last night. It's
We
crazy.
never got an answer on your bladder, though.
Yeah,
Yes,
you know
I
what, you
say I
keep
am.
on
I think
answering
you've got bladder issues. I think you've got bladder. You're dancing around this, and I
Answer the
think
question.
you've got.
I pee more
You're
often
at the
now.
age right now.
I'm
your
older.
prostate is probably due to be checked.
You can't handle
frequently.
the truth.
Well, I will probably, I'm due for a checkup, so I'll probably tip him and get that done too.
Do you feel like you're urinating more frequently than normal?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I think that's also, I mean, that's what comes with when you get into your upper 40s. I mean, I used to be able to sleep through the night no matter what. And now, like 3 a.m., and that's what, you know what I hate is if you have to pee about 45, 50 minutes before your alarm is set to go
Oh,
off.
it's the worst, and that's what it's been for me all
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
That is when I wake up, and it's there, and it's not the kind that it's never the kind where you have to jump out of bed. It's the kind where you're sitting there and you're going, "Hello, Mr. Bladder."
Yeah, you're thinking
Hello.
about it. You're thinking
How
about
are
it.
you? Hey, how's it going? Yes, I know you're there. I don't feel like getting up yet.
But so you don't get out of bed,
but
you
you're
feel,
awake.
But you are awake because of it.
Because if you're to
Because
go
you're-
back to sleep, there might be an involuntary release.
Yeah, but I mean, then I'm disappointed with the with what happens. I mean, it's just
The
like,
result?
okay. Yeah, I mean,
Like
I want to be what I want. You know what I want when I'm awakened in the middle of the night as a 59-year-old man by my bladder. You know what I want to have happen when I finally go to the potty? I want it to be like it's between it's right after the second intermission of a Caps game, and I've been drinking the 16 ounces.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's
Yeah.
what I want.
Yes.
I want a potential stadium stop type of urinary urgency.
yes.
Excuse me.
You want a
That's
golden.
gross.
a
Can we
gold-
be any grosser
a
when
golden-
I'm burping, taking about this? Let's be that.
What you require, Mike, is a beautiful golden arc. And sometimes you just don't get it.
Do you ever have to pee so bad when you're at a game where you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and then there's a line and you're waiting and waiting, and then you stand up there and your bladder's so full that it doesn't come out fast?
Oh God, yeah.
You ever
And
had that happen?
especially if it's a time issue.
Yeah, because you're working against your body. At that
You're
point.
working against your
One
body.
of the worst times for that for me, I can tell you the moment, it was a Paul McCartney concert, and he said, "We're going to do one from the new album now," and it looked like Exodus. Everyone left the stadium to go to the bathroom, and you had to get in line, and you had to pee, and you had 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
so
Because
they don't even want Paul McCartney doing his new stuff?
no one wanted
Can
to hear
I-
anything from the Firemen.
Can I ask you a question?
Play the hits.
You've seen him a dozen times, right?
4 times.
Okay. 4 times, same thing, dozen times. Wouldn't it say, I'm an adult, I've seen him play this song, I gotta go take a leak, I'm gonna go.
You see, Oscar, this just goes to show what a child you are, because you never know when he's going to play Live and Let Die. And that, with the fireworks and the explosions, that's the reason you go. That's a show. And if you
So
miss that,
let's
you're
get
screwed.
back. We keep
He's not answering
digressing
the
here.
question.
No, I pee much more often
think-
than I used to.
So do you think you have something wrong? Do you think you should go see a urologist?
Well, I mean, just for pleasure.
This is the dumbest.
I've been
show
to a
in the world.
urologist.
I have too.
They just tickle, they cough, and then you move on.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've been to one. I've been to everyone. I've been to every specialist known to
The
mankind.
piping.
Don't you have the Florida shopping plate for doctors?
Yeah, well, you know what they what you get down in
Pass.
Florida. The worst one down here is wound care.
Oh no.
oh, yeah.
When you're so old you don't heal anymore.
Hey,
That's,
thin skin.
A
that's,
lot of times it's hey, let's take a look at the foot, Mrs. Nellie.
I know it's unfortunate, but I'd
Oh,
like
you're
to
so-
avoid that.
are you
So
going
we're
to
worried
a
about you. We're
doctor? Yeah.
concerned. We're concerned about it because you don't really focus on your health. You don't.
And yet I
get
look like
concerned.
this.
No, you always say when you're sick you have allergies. Remember when you were sick for a year?
Yeah.
Do you remember when you had that and you kept saying allergies?
Well,
and
the
it found
allergies
out-
were a complication.
Didn't you think you had allergies when you had like a deep lung infection?
No, it was bronchitis.
Okay, that's
But you didn't. But you blew it off as allergies.
Bronchitis isn't normal.
Tray treatable. Very
All right,
treatable.
just want to make
But it
sure
isn't common and normal to live with.
Well, you know what?
When is your next physical?
Let's see. What is it? It's April now, right?
Yes,
So,
it's April. Rob.
2025.
He doesn't want to answer. He
On
doesn't
the
like talking
fives.
about
On
it.
the fives.
I'm done too.
I was telling
I can't
Shannon-
compete against him today.
This
I can't.
reminds me of fresh yesterday, and a quick anecdote. And I apologize, Mike, for hijacking it. Just remembered.
It's his new word this week is anecdote.
He loves
likes
it.
he likes the idea that he's
Mike,
finally figured out how to
I'm
pronounce it.
learning.
And he will also.
Why
No,
won't
it's
you
great.
celebrate
you use it,
that?
You're using it properly,
Yes.
and I know I like to practice makes perfect.
Yes.
Before the end of the show, I bet he says, I've had the poison, but luckily I had the anecdote.
I've got another one for next week.
Oh, good. What
that
is
I've
this
been
like?
working on. I can't even pronounce it yet.
He keeps ripping
All
the
right,
pages
let's
off the
do a
calendar.
test since you
Yes.
brought it up, Rob.
Right.
Let's do a test for our boy here.
Please.
Okay.
All right.
So you're about to tell a little story.
Yeah.
That is an anecdote.
Yes.
All right. If you are bitten by a timber rattlesnake in the woods,
Poisonous.
you must get to the hospital so they can administer an what?
Antidote.
All right. You know what? I thought I'd get him, but I didn't get him. That's awesome. Continue with your story. Very
So-
good.
They are selling little cubby holes for the mausoleum here in Glover Park. They just opened up for a fundraiser to fix the.
Well, when you say cubbyhole, I hate to hijack again, but is it an actual place of interment?
Yeah, it's where you put your ashes.
Okay.
Like
so-
Forest Lawn, where they have the ashes and they have a wall.
Yes.
Where people have the.
DiMaggio sent
their
flowers
memorials.
to Marilyn Monroe 3 times a
Okay,
week.
all right, okay. Why? Why was that? Why? Why? You had to. You had to. You couldn't help yourself. You couldn't help your abnormal personality. You had to. DiMaggio sent no. I'm trying to explain what we're talking about, and you've got to give that part of your brain that ejaculates those useless facts has to come out there.
Something has to come
I'm
out.
I was going to
trying-
say, that's working better than down there.
Yes, that's working far superior to that. They're the little squares you have like on a marble wall,
Yes.
and that's where ashes are interred.
Yes.
with celebrities, and you can see some amazing celebrities at Forest
Yes.
Lawn. If I don't know if it's open to the public, but I assume it is. It's a cemetery, so you can go see that. So, what were you saying about this?
A block away, there's a cemetery.
Yes.
That for some reason, and for who knows if it's because of the politics of the Glover Park area, it's been unkept. People are nobody really knew who owned the property, and as of late, a community effort has come along to actually make it beautify the area again, and they are
Of the cemetery.
It's a pretty nice cemetery.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I look, there are people that have been buried there since 1734. Like I walk Santos
Well, let me
up
ask
and
you
down.
this:
Yes.
Is it a private entity? Is it a private? I mean, most cemeteries are a business.
It's public.
It's a public.
They got,
It's so old that
it's
it was.
1783. Like multiple 1700 families.
So
are there.
this is a city-run
Yes.
cemetery.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's amazing because DC's public works are normally spot on.
So, my wife tells me that when she walks the dog, she sees all the gossips on top of the hill, talking about what's happening with the Starbucks downstairs,
Right.
what's going on with the Rite Aid, like just all the gossip from the neighborhood. She
How's
said,
the Rite Aid doing across the street?
Not very well. It's beautiful.
I didn't think so.
But it's
Yeah.
empty.
Yeah.
For some reason,
And there's a rumor about that,
people
too.
prefer
CVS.
CVS.
They do.
They do.
Happened in
Because-
Manassas, right? Didn't they close the one in Manassas, right? They closed
Yeah,
a bunch of them.
but Manassas has plenty of drugstores.
Yeah, that's true. As soon as one closes, another one open. You know
Two
what would have
open.
helped You know what would have helped the Rite Aid in Manassas? A cemetery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a deli aisle. That would have been nice as well.
So she finds out that there's
Yes.
a cemetery
She said-
where you can bid on a little area for your ashes.
Yes. And I come from a world where my mom sat me down when I was 11 years old, and I sat there with the guy who was selling tombstones, and she said, "Okay,
Hello.
pay
Or
attention."
was he selling plots?
Whatever plots.
Yiddish
Well,
word.
she's going to be
Difference.
buried.
Yeah.
Do you remember that road when we drove into my house where they had the guy that sold memorials?
Yes.
The granite store.
Yeah.
You had two of them on Route 28.
Right. Plots are different. Your mom,
Tires and granite.
yeah, tires and granite tombstones.
How would
What
you
a
like to
town.
purchase a very small piece of real estate?
So you're selling
So your
land.
mom sits you down to get a plot.
Not for her. She had me sit down within the conversation and translate half of what was going on. And I'm 11 and I'm starting to cry because I don't want to think of my parents dying. And she's laying out. We're all going to be laid out.
What is 6 feet in metric?
I don't know.
Okay.
But she says, but she didn't know. And what I didn't know is that she bought these plots in Waldorf, Maryland. She got hoodwinked by this guy from the church.
Beautiful.
Shocker, right?
Yeah.
We're like, we're ever going to bury her in Waldorf, Maryland. God bless you. Not driving out there to see you.
How did this happen? How did this whole thing go
Because
down?
my mom, it was a rube, and the guy came from church, and I remember he was a slick Willie, and my dad
church.
wasn't home, right?
Don't ever get in a business
So-
discussion with somebody from church.
So-
They'll
Bad
use
move,
you.
yeah.
So
God wants you
She-
in Waldorf.
we live in Albany, the other side of the planet for you, not around here. Let me
So
tell you.
does she still own a plot
She still
in
owns it.
Waldorf?
She owns 5 plots. 5 plots.
She is the Donald Trump of graveyards.
It's just ridiculous. She goes, remember, we've got the plots in Waldorf. Like we know anybody there. We would ever drive there.
Right.
You
Come
could resell it.
So, yeah, I get that. But I always thought it was going to be cost prohibitive for something in D.C. near where we live.
Right.
And this is our home. This just is our home. And I said, Shannon, what do those little cubby holes cost? Because maybe we could pick one up from my mom, and she'll be close to us when she passed. Maybe my dad too. And she says, "Why are we talking about this?" I was like, "We should actually pick some up for us now. The prices are just going to go up."
Look for a Groupon.
You're something else. I don't understand you sometimes. So you start doing basically what your mom's doing. What your mom did in Waldorf, you're doing in Glover Park.
Yeah,
right
but he's doing it with a business degree.
Well, there's only there was 650 that they had put up, right? And it said, "Ask the gossips how much of these are running for," because they've sold 230 of them already. They're gonna go, Mike. They're
create urgency.
They're gonna go.
Do you know the price?
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell my wife
I
to
thought-
figure
I
out.
didn't know if you
and
knew
she
yet.
starts crying. And I'm like, "What is wrong?" I was like, "This is an opportunity. We
just
don't
got
want to
married,
We don't
Oscar."
want to drive to Waldorf
No.
to see my mom. She's gonna go soon. So is Dad. Let's throw them
Not
all.
soon.
Let's throw them in up the street. You know,
Based on my knowledge of your family history, I don't think the waterworks displayed by your wife would be would be a result of thinking about the demise of your mother.
No.
No.
It
I'm
might have
sorry to
been,
say.
I think the crying might have been that she'd been assigned another task.
She said, I said, "What's the big deal? You know, I come from a world where we talk about death." And she says, "Well, I don't want to buy our own burial plots now. Like, I don't mind your parents, but what about us?" I was like, "Maybe we should get one for Santos."
Oh, no. Now that's sad.
And we still don't know the cost, right?
That is a to-do today because they're going to go.
Yeah.
They're going to go.
Something
Do
to
you
look
have-
forward to on Monday. I'll remember that one. That's for sure.
Do you have a plot? Do you have arrangements for yourself?
I go between the ego of being buried,
Yes.
and having an actual real place for people to visit, and the family thing where my father and my mother are both their ashes have been scattered on Frenchman's Bay. But you know how I feel a little conflicted with that area, right?
Yes, of course.
I know that I don't want to.
Don't you have to
buried
be,
in
Mike? Don't you have to
Florida.
be? You have to be scattered on your 2 weeks.
Well, no, yes,
Florida.
exactly. It's a share thing.
Waldorf is my Florida.
Yeah.
Just to know that I don't want to have to drive to see my mom.
Did I ever tell you about the scattering of the ashes where we were on the boat and we were out in
No,
the
and
scattering?
I wish you would, because actually coming up next month we're scattering my Uncle Pete because he was cremated as well.
I think I might have mentioned it, but I was scattering the ashes, and then we do have to break because we're running into the opening bit. But I'm scattering the ashes with my mom, and it was so gut wrenching. I wrote some words at the dock to say in front of the family. I couldn't get through it. The first time I had to gather myself and do it. It's the first time I really sobbed in front of people because it was that closure. It was that final.
Right.
Then we take her out, and we take her out on a little tiny 19-foot boat with me and Carla and my niece and nephew and Paul and Kathy and Sarah and Bill. They're the niece and nephew's
A lot of
husband
people
and
for
wife.
that craft.
A lot of people, and we start to. We put it out. Kathy was really smart and got some flowers to scatter on the water while we were scattering her ashes. And we're pouring it out, and we're pouring it out, and we're pouring it out, And we're pouring it out. And at one point, I'm pouring, and I say, Jesus Christ, she was 89 pounds. How many ashes are in here? This ash bag is like the size of a hefty bag. It just won't stop.
Like you're spreading
It's
mulch.
just the urn. I said, is this, are we scattering ashes, or is this like a Shriners Clown College coming out of one of those cars? Because it would not stop. And then the boat turned a little bit and the wind shifted, and we had a Lebowski moment where so I think of that, and it's just not, but it ended up being a very nice thing. And we got some video of the ashes. But I mean, my God, look, I think everything's on the up and up, but I read a lot of these horrible news stories because it's our job.
Right.
And, I'm saying it was a beautiful moment with my mom, but I'm thinking there might have been 3 or 4 other people in it.
Kind of like.
Thank you.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business. From the entertainment capital of the world.
Seth Rogen, everybody.
All right, I've landed. I'm here. We said our hellos. Can we please go to f***ing Carl's Jr.?
I would love to. I'm on, I can't really eat that. I'm on this cleanse.
You're on a what?
I'm on a cleanse.
What?
It's good for you. I didn't know. You're supposed to take 6 a day.
That's not true.
It
You're
is
supposed
true.
to twice a day.
No, that's not true. That's what they used to think. Now they know you're supposed to 6 times a day.
So you're not drinking, you're not smoking weed, you're not...
No. I'm drinking and smoking weed.
But
I'm on a cleanse. I'm not psychotic. Look, man, if you stopped eating gluten, you'd feel way better all day. Whenever you feel shitty, that's because of gluten.
that's not true. Who the told you not to eat gluten?
It's just true.
You don't even know what gluten
I know
is.
what gluten is.
No, you have no idea
I
what
do know what gluten is. Gluten's a vague term. It's something that's used to categorize things that are bad. You know, calories, that's a gluten. Fat, that's a gluten.
Somebody just told you probably shouldn't eat gluten. You're like, oh, I guess I shouldn't eat gluten.
Gluten means bad, man, and I'm not eating it. Oh. Each bite is better than the previous bite. Gluten!
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. With Mike O'Mara, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his easy chair, here's Mike.
Dan, gotta love that gluten. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
We are live from the Podcast Village studios in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. This is the Mike O'Mara Show. We're so glad, so proud, and so glad to have you with us. We are all the way from Perth, Australia to Maricopa County, Arizona. By the way, send us your cities for next week.
Send them in.
Please. Pine City, Minnesota, Cedar Key, Florida, Felton, Delaware, Cochranton, Pennsylvania. The Mike O'Mara Show is on now and brought to you by Cornerstone, our good friends and our wonderful neighbors and an incredible company. Here's some powerful news from Cornerstone First Financial. The economy is softening, and because of that, interest rates are down, down, down. They're the lowest they've been in a full year, and chances are there will be no interest rate hikes this year. That's thanks to inflationary pressure that never happened. They
Never
were talking
happened.
about it.
Where
Did
is it?
not happen.
Gone.
Rates are back around 4%. And with the spring home market in full swing, it's time to act now. Whether you're buying, refinancing, or consolidating debt, Cornerstone guarantees you the lowest rate. Work with the friends of TMOS and save some dough. Now licensed in California, along with Maryland, Virginia, D.C., Georgia, Florida, and Colorado. Click their banner on our website. Visit cornerstonefirst.com or call them at 866-625-1221. Cornerstone First Financial, personal attention from application to closing. I had an idea about the show.
Yes.
This is not even an idea that I might... I probably won't implement this until next year around the holidays.
Okay.
But I will tell you that I think that I'm come next year, and that's after the summer, I'm going to spruce this place up. Mm-hmm. And when I get this place the way I want, I'm going to make it a guest-friendly environment. Because I've got some wonderful people down here that I'd like to have pop by and just whether they're friends, whether they're guys that are busting my balls or whatever, make it friendly. I'll probably need some help. Yes.
That would be awesome.
I'll probably need some help.
I would love to help.
That'd be so much fun.
So I'm giving you notice of 8 months, 9 months that let's do something down here so we can make this room
Do it in the fall.
a little bit better. Do it in the fall. And because we're not busy in the fall, but let's do it. That's the time we want to do it.
That's what I think. I'm flying down.
96-year-old guy that they're honoring down here in Cocoonville.
Right.
Flying him up to the memorial, flying him back in the same day. He's going out. Just it's just an amazing story. And I thought I knew the guy. And then yesterday, I was up at the Cocoonville driving range and all by myself up there. And there's only one guy next to me. And I recognized this. It's this guy. I said, there's no way he's 96. There's no way he's 90. And he is the sweetest, nicest guy by the name of Frank, and just an incredible dude. And I thought I'd share a story with you about.
He's a World War II vet. Then I'm doing the math.
World
in
War
my
II
head.
vet,
Yeah.
and just as pleasant. And they said they're making the arrangements for him to come up to these memorials. And I think the airline said, will he require a wheelchair? And his wife said, well, or his daughter, I'm not sure who was making the arrangements, said, well, I'll ask him when he gets back from the driving range, which is just, I think, a wonderful little story. And he's a sweet guy.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to share that. But I think that there are interesting stories down here to be told. And there is something that you two will enjoy thoroughly. There are tremendous ball busters down here as well. And I have been here long enough now where I've decided that expanding one's horizons a little bit by bringing some of these people. Now it's fraught with peril. It's fraught with peril. I will record a disclaimer a mile long
with great
before
risk.
I bring one with great risk.
Comes great
by
reward.
the way, this is rarefied air. This is not going to be. I'm going to be very careful about who I choose to go by, and this does not necessarily require all the people that I hang out with down here. This could be anybody that I want to bring by that might be going on a tour.
This is fun. Could we churn?
It's time to expand. This is home. We are dug in down here.
Yes.
This is where I'm going to be spending many months of the year, including with hurricanes and whatever comes my way down here. So I'm thinking of you've done all the work up there with the beautiful facility.
Yeah.
I think the
Butler
facility, even though it's
Cabin
home
down
based, I think Butler Cabin. What a
I
lovely,
like that.
What a lovely motif that would be.
Yes.
See,
You
he's
walk in.
great at that.
Yes.
He's great at that.
You
kind
give
of
them
stuff.
a green jacket
Yes.
when they walk in.
The Paisley O'Mara jacket. Have them come in and do that. It should be special.
Come in and say, what are you, about a 44 short?
But I think really
I
that
think
would
that
be
is
something I'd like to
You
do.
think I'm kidding? I think that is possible.
I do too.
I think that
And
is possible.
I think that it needs
We're
to
gonna
be
have to
done.
because if I'm not mistaken, Mike, you don't have that many people that visit. So
Don't
we
have
could-
that
we
many
could-
people that
we could-
visit.
That long term, I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we could could we churn that room into a set?
You could turn that room into a set. You could turn that room into a dedicated
that
studio.
helps.
for me.
The
Now, by the
room,
way,
the
when
time.
you do that,
An interesting
when
background.
you do
Yeah.
that, I have to make it. I have to
Yes.
make it very clear.
Layers.
I want it to be. How do I say this? I do want it to
Fabulous.
be modified. No, stop it. I want it to be something where if I had to, in the dead of night. If the law came and I needed to break it down, I could get out of it. But I'd like it to be more of a dug-in situation.
So,
I mean, it's really more now like a studio in the corner of a storage room.
Yeah.
That's
So
what it is.
this is what and it's great we're having this conversation. I've had some offline conversations about with the guys about that opportunity down there. So the idea that we're even talking about this is awesome. It's a larger lift, but within a week's time, we could definitely get that done. And I would say that for you, especially, do you ever sleep on that couch? I need to know just for context.
Do I ever sleep on that couch? Any sleeping that's done on a couch, be it a marital argument,
Yes.
Be it somebody
Snoring.
It's really,
House guest,
it's not. In the last year, it has not been used for sleeping.
Can we incorporate that couch into the set?
Yes.
All right.
I'm thinking that we could put it off to one side where it's
Yes.
not a primary.
Yes.
What I'd like
It's
to
not
see behind you,
primary.
Mike, if we could do some way.
What about a Game of Thrones motif?
Beautiful.
really?
Dragons.
He's on- he-
Frankie, shut up!
He's on the big throne,
Okay.
right? And then people will kneel in front of him when they come in.
Well, no, I'm serious. I think it would be something where I'd like to see.
Butler
I've got
cabinet.
this cabinetry, and I think it could be.
Well, what I wanna see is
a reasonable amount of space for a studio.
I want to see
know?
behind you some texture. I want to see something that you're in focus and we have something behind you that is a little more visually interesting than the backdrop. The backdrop is fine, and the backdrop serves its purpose.
I'm thinking of modular shelving.
Yes.
Something that looks great on camera.
And some of the things you refer to, like your circus hat and your little toys and knickknacks.
All I want is a space where if I want to pull a guest to come in here, if I want a panel with
Mike,
Mrs. O'Mara one day, if I want to have Michael come in,
I
will build you a
be
set like they're walking onto a remote studio.
Okay, so be it. I'm
going to need
all
that
for
couch
it.
to sleep on for a week.
You know what?
That's why you were so worried about the couch?
I will live with you.
No, you can sleep in Michael's room, and Michael will sleep in our bedroom. So that's fine.
Yeah, but he doesn't have
okay
the pirate ship anymore.
And if Rob comes down with you, Rob and you will sleep in the Queen together.
Yes, with a lion licking our toes.
As long as you'll hold me.
Drinking a Heineken. But anyway, I'm sorry. That's a viral video that I've been laughing about all week long. But I'll send that to both of you after the show is over.
would like
That's
that.
funny, too.
Please.
Let's analyze Easter. Can we analyze Easter, please? Because it is a holiday that I've never really understood. And I'm aware of the holiday. I'm aware I was raised Catholic. Easter is the big holiday in Catholicism.
Great story behind it with the Stations of the Cross when they get up and tell the stories. It's great.
Yeah, it's the death of Jesus,
right,
and his ascension to heaven.
Yeah,
and I understand that part of it. What I don't understand is that everything surrounding Easter, it does not make sense. Like, for example, okay, the Catholic version of Easter Sunday.
Yes.
You know, you have, and Rob mentioned Stations of the Cross. That's a little in the weeds for non-Catholics.
A lot of work.
Stations of the Cross
Not for
are
Jesus, for us.
Jesus's walk up to the crucifixion site, and all the things he endured in the Bible story where he eventually is killed by the Romans. Now, but that's Easter.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
But Easter is a happy story of rebirth because Jesus died and went to heaven.
He took 72
and is seated
hours.
at the right hand of his Father. He will come again in glory to judge the living and the dead, and his kingdom will have no end. Anyway, I understand all that, but let me say, then you throw in, so that's fine.
Right.
And it's a pretty heavy duty story. It's the most dramatic. It's probably more dramatic than Christmas.
Oh, definitely more dramatic, yeah.
Because it has death in it.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but then
Exodus is pretty good, though.
But you've got the secular side of Easter, which when you compare that to Christmas, just leaves me cold. Yeah. Where in the name of Holy F did the bunny come from?
I don't know the bunny.
I understand. Easter bunny
pagan
with
tradition.
pink. What?
It's originally, like Christmas, it was originally a pagan holiday, and the Easter
Thanks.
bunny
And then
represents rebirth and spring.
The Easter bunny represents rebirth and spring?
That is hump and make babies.
Just like the Christmas tree represented a tree that stayed green during wintertime, so the pagans celebrated that tree. They celebrate the rabbit as this, sign of spring.
And don't call him a rabbit. He's a bunny.
He's a bunny.
That's right. Now, I know the egg.
When did you become this expert on holiday?
Not a theologian.
Well, you see, he hates everything about God.
He's an atheist.
And he feels that he must know his opponent.
He is an atheist.
You'd learn a lot.
So you're up on the pagan. So the Easter bunny is like a pagan tradition?
Yeah, it's a holdover from pagan traditions that got kind of smoothed over by Christianity when they came in and converted people.
Now, I know the egg is something similar because the birth of the chick from the egg is symbolic of rising from the grave as well.
And then they've upgraded that egg with peanut butter.
Right. And you can freeze it.
And you know what? They are talking about the ad campaign. What's the ad campaign now for Reese's? No worries, or I know we're not sorry, or something. Not sorry, Reese's.
But
there's a brand new
what
campaign
you're talking
there.
about.
You know what I'm talking about?
First off, they're doubling down on how unhealthy it is.
They're embracing it.
Yeah, not sorry. That's what it is. Not sorry. We know you are pouring. Speaking of gluten, we know you are pouring a gluten sugar bomb into your bloodstream. Not sorry. So we've got pink and green, and then we've got hats, and we've got Easter. And by the way,
are we missing out? Though I apologize. Are we missing out on what should really be on our minds?
Ham.
If you Christmas is as far as like. The overall holiday is, presents and fun, but Easter is when the Sunday dresses come out, Mike.
The Sunday dresses come out.
Oh, yeah, your finery, yeah.
Well, you've got your finery, everybody. That's when people truly dress up on Easter Sunday. But at the same time, we had the Easter Catholics, where the people that didn't go to church all year, it wouldn't be Christmas. Some of them would be Christmas, but all of them would come on Easter because for some reason that holiday was when everybody decided they were going to pack the church and come in there, and then you have
because it's not it's not as busy of a time of year. It's a more convenient time to be a once-a-year Catholic because with Christmas there's lots going on.
Did you go to church on Easter? That's a common question.
Where do you weigh in on the sunrise service?
Well, the sunrise service is like midnight mass. It's the same thing where it's kind of a nice thing to do.
Gimmickry.
It's gimmickry. We're all going to die. We're all going to go to hell. Yeah. We're all going to go to hell. No, when I'm thinking about it, though, the Easter egg roll, and that's got to be more recent, right? No, they had it when I was a 5-year-old. We had the Easter egg hunt, not the. There's an Easter egg roll at the White House, but there's an Easter egg hunt at a lot of different places. And the Easter egg hunt is a celebration of American greed like you have never seen before, where kids. It's trying to stuff their bags and stuff. Let me just say that the holiday, I always felt as though the holiday was a little bit odd.
Well, it also depends how you celebrate. For my family, it was the 5-hour mass, the Latin mass. Just by Latin, not
very
Latin.
Religious.
It's Latino mass. It's in Spanish, and it's forever.
So did you dread it because you were going to be in church for 5 hours?
It was usually a 3-hour game when you go on Sundays with Mom, and then it became a 5-hour ordeal.
Your regular service was a 3-hour.
Oh, Latin mass is so long. Forget your Sundays.
When did you do? How long did you go to Latin mass?
Well, I was probably 17, 18.
I thought by the time you were born, the Latin mass was completely. So you're saying in Hispanic churches, the Latin would still be very much alive?
Not Latin as the original
he's not
language.
talking Vatican
about,
II.
The Latino.
He's talking Spanish.
Latino, yes.
Okay.
The Spanish mass.
3 hours in the Latino?
Forever. People would cramp up.
I definitely have to pee during that.
45 minutes. 45 minutes.
3 hours. So you get there at 1, you're done if you're lucky by 4. And I remember telling my mom, be like, Mom, the American mass, the English mass, is an hour. We should go to that.
Yeah.
Then we can go get pancitos and cuñapés and salteñas at the Mercado Latino right when we're done.
Do you have any memory of what because I have a memory of going to the Catholic service where we were so time conscious that at the end, the prayer that they say before they serve communion would be the longest prayer of the day. And there would be the abbreviated version, and there would be the super long version, and there would be the version in between.
Did you have in your Catholic church, which we had, a missalette, which was like a published thing?
That's where
and they were numbered 1 through 4.
1 through 4, and they maybe 4 or 5. I don't know.
And I remember,
Mike,
the short one started. The short one started with the phrase "the fountain of all holiness." And if you heard "Fountain of All Holiness," you knew you were
out of there.
You saved about 8 minutes right there.
And it was
Boom.
the most tedious prayer in the whole thing, and it would go on and on and on. So my question to you in the Latin service: Where did the length come from? Okay. Did it come from where did that 3 hours?
And not like
the dance numbers,
not the fun singing that you see in these new wave churches where it was like, whoa, like singing like rock and roll bands.
Yeah. It's called a praise band, Oscar.
Okay, did not know. That's the fun churches.
Jesus loves you. All right, what?
This
is their old songs. They had a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking long songs. Like go and play a CD songs.
All
like
6
extra
verses?
songs. All 6 verses. Jeez.
They would sing forever.
Far away.
Yeah, but it's not that. It's like the Spanish version, which I
Feliz Navidad.
That's the only one. But all 8 verses.
And it was full of pageantry. The guy would come around with the smoke and smoke you out. Like
the smoking pocketbook.
Like he was.
That's the incense.
Like we were the bees, and he was trying to get you out.
Smoking pocketbook. We're all going to hell. You know, you have a hostility towards it that is much more pointed. You know that you truly do. You have a hostility towards the Catholic Church that I've never really examined.
I don't know. It seems like a good outfit to me.
No. You be serious. Where does your real? You kind of. I mean, you go to services.
I had two.
You embraced your Protestantism.
I had 2 grandmothers that were both very Catholic. My mom's mother was so Catholic, she was wearing the black mantilla veil when she went into mass.
Oh, nice.
She was next level.
They're taking care of their skin.
And
did that go away? Just out of curiosity, did that happen to go away when your father extricated himself from that family?
I don't think so.
Because I sense that in a big way. It's like, hey, we're not going to that crap anymore, Robbie. Hop in the back of the car.
For many many years,
we're going to Farrell's Ice Cream.
For many years, when I
Red Eyes Duck Bar.
spent a lot of time living at Big Daddy's house, my mom's dad, I would go to church twice. For many years, I did this. We'd do the 8:30 Mass, and then his Methodist church was at 11. And I just, after watching both of them, and
no wonder that's where it comes from.
Well, no, but you see, I don't hate the
Your Sundays were ruined.
I don't hate that Protestant faith. I like that Protestant faith, and I like the way that church had a different sort of sense of feeling and a atmosphere. All the X's and O's are
he's
still the same.
Dissing the Catholics.
Yeah,
Do you notice
What about
that?
the Catholics?
You know?
Do you hate the Catholics?
What
You hate
about
us?
the Catholics?
Well, what
Can we
about
be
him?
president one day?
I think Kennedy was a fine man, but
Okay, we have to break. Come on. All right, we have.
Answer the question.
I will say this:
He doesn't. He is the dancing bear.
Yes.
He will not answer questions directly. It's difficult today.
I think
It's
there's
very
too much.
difficult.
I think there's too much structure and too much the joy of, hey, this is our ritual. We're Catholics, and this is what we do. We're gonna stand up. We're gonna kneel. We're gonna sit. We're gonna shake hands.
There's plenty of that in your Methodist crap.
Yeah, but
too.
you know what? There's
Anyway,
not as
all right.
much. And you know what?
okay,
I'm not the
all
one turning this into a contest.
All right, I know. It's and I don't go anyway, so it's like
Yeah,
I don't
what's
know why
your
I'm
deal?
defending it.
You don't have a
because I
pope
was
in this
raised
fight.
Catholic. Because I went every day of my life till my 18th birthday, for God's sake, and then after that at Marist College until I got in the fight with the guy and broke his nose. Anyway,
I
we'll
went
take
to
a break and we
CCD.
will come back. All right, very good. We'll take a break. Come back with more fun on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Oh, it's your boy Paulie. Technology has come a long way for the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to it on iTunes and Spotify. Watch the boys on YouTube. Hang out with them on Facebook and Instagram. And now they're also on Alexa. Let's check it out. Hey, Alexa, play the Mike O'Mara Show podcast.
Here's the Mike O'Mara Show from TuneIn. Number 2208. Full course meal. 1 hour 22 minutes.
Today on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Oh my God, that's friggin' unbelievable. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Paulie. Never forget. Thank you very much, Paulie. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by our TMOS bonus packages. The Bonus Show, a podcast unlike any other. The Bonus Show. It's compelling without ever being stodgy. It's fun and frivolous and a pure, sweet delight. It's an entertaining frolic that will remind you of the old days at the soda counter in the corner drugstore, or a refreshing dip in the old swimming hole. It's like a night in the meadow, chasing aimless fireflies. Yes, the Bonus Show is all things to all people.
Yes.
Think of it as a magical 6th episode of TMOS that you can grab every week if you just have the balls to do it. Subscribe now, just like we did in the old days. And if you don't subscribe, you're a harebrained, crooked, dishonest, useless, repulsive dick.
Yes.
Remember, the future of our show depends on it, so please buy our thing. Go to MikeO'MaraShow.com and click the bonus banner. You get access to all our bonus content, and you'll be helping TMOS. So buy it, try it, and now let us dance around the maypole and then make love. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, let's go Caps. Want to give a salute to our little hockey team.
Rock the red.
Yes, sirree. Throwback to when I was there. Used to love it. Fantastic opening game against Carolina Hurricanes. Yes, it was wonderful that they beat them. Held on to beat them because it almost got nervous in the third period, and I put a little bitty lowercase zang out there.
It brought me great joy, Mike.
Get happy, Mike.
When you distribute a small zang like that, it's like, come on, try a little harder. You did it, but try a little harder.
A note to Capitals fans all over the world. I'm just going to hold out that I want to make this very clear on this show. There may not be a zang for every single game.
What?
Well, I just have to be honest. I don't want to be called on the carpet if I happen to be at a function and I'm not able to get my zang out there. I'm not going to fake it, but I'm going to, with the first game of the playoffs, I cemented my reputation as a Caps fan by putting my zang out there.
What about a BZ, Mike? A belated zang?
I am very bitter that they fired their coach. I am very bitter that the organization got rid of Barry Trotz after they won the Stanley Cup. I think it was it was not a cool move.
Okay, first let's address one thing. That if you need a zang plan, we're here for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, yes.
Like we
That's
we can alert you, scoring alerts.
No, I just want people to know.
We can let you know. And are the Caps? Is the Caps front office actually? Are they being vindicated on that firing that was about the team and not the coaching?
Right. So far, they are. They made the playoffs. They've had a great year. We'll see what happens. But the Islanders are right there, too. The Islanders who hired Barry Trotz are right up there, too. So it'll be fun to watch. But it's fun. The only thing I take issue with, and this has been my a little bee in my bonnet for a while, they show a picture of Max Scherzer last night enjoying the game. I don't know what it is, but I am not a fan of I'm all for other athletes in the off season coming and enjoying. When the other team is in season, like the Nationals are, I just have this feeling that it just kind of ticks me off that you see them with the A-list seats when they ought to be, home practicing.
Sleeping.
Yeah. I'm sorry, sleeping. I don't know why that bothers me, but they showed, Nationals player, and he was with a couple of people that look like they're the typical wannabe hang-arounders, that hang around sports stars. We saw those in D.C. We've seen them forever.
I was one of those guys.
I was
you
one.
You are one of those guys.
I am one of those guys.
You walk around with a sports star, and you feel like you're a sports star.
Yes.
Yeah.
Turtle
I'll drive
Santana.
you from place to place. I'll be on the practice squad.
The greatest sports star moment for me was walking through the D.C. waterfront down by the Washington Harbor and walking with John Riggins, who was wearing a cowboy hat. I'll never forget that. I was part of that entourage, And, of course, it ended like many of those Riggins evenings with, him looking at me and go, Mr. O'Mara, you don't become a Hall of Fame.
Was that an Eggs Benedict night?
Yeah. We did it twice. Probably twice we went there. Once he fell asleep.
Yeah.
Let's
focus on the time he stayed awake. That was nice. Yeah.
It was great. It was great. First thing he did was, yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Are you happy for Ovi at least? Can you take joy in some of the players?
Oh, I'm very happy.
Okay.
Look, I have to be honest. This is kind of a purge right now.
Okay.
Let it go.
Down here. First thing Oscar asked me, he said, did you watch the golf tournament? I said, yeah, I looked in on it, and I looked in on the Caps game. Down here, I said to my wife this morning, I said, I feel a disconnect with spectator sports. And she said, well, welcome to Florida. And she's right. We're doing stuff here all the time.
Because you're living.
Yeah.
You're not watching.
I think that the sports teams in the northern climes, especially like football, where, if you live in Cleveland and it's 43 degrees and drizzling, Monday through Friday, you're going to go, rip the top off a beer can and paint your face orange.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's it. And that's what you've got. I got a lot of other things down here.
You don't need to look at your high-def television to see a beautiful golf course.
Because you live
at a beautiful golf course.
Florida, California, especially Los Angeles area, and Southern
San Diego,
California.
that area.
So think about
Herndon.
Think about the pictures we have seen. And look, Phoenix is like that, Mike.
Herndon.
Phoenix is like that.
Got a train station car right there in the middle of the town. It's great.
Manassas, he's talking about.
Beautiful.
Right next to the part-time ice rink.
We got a fence.
Ice rink.
The pavilion.
The pavilion.
The reason we don't watch sports in Manassas is because we have a fence made of bicycles. You can look at it 24/7. I know.
But
they did.
If you have
the choo-choo train convention
options outside of your home, you're not glued to your television.
That's sort of where. But I'm still, it's still nighttime. Little guy goes down to sleep. He had trouble sleeping. Watched a little of the hockey game with me last night. So let's go, Caps. That's all I wanted to say. And professional players, if your season's in season, don't take a seat from a fan. All right, because I don't know. That's stupid.
Take
People
a box.
say that's stupid. I
Look in the shadows.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fine.
Go home and practice catching your ball in your glove. Oil your glove.
By the way, the Capitals last night, just from me to you, DGH. Okay, you got a little happy going to that third period.
Yes.
Almost gave it all up.
Don't do that.
Still a great sport to watch. What talent. What amazing talent. Even down here in South Florida, we can appreciate that. Yes, sir. And the Lightning down here, Tampa, just up the road. They're having a good season, too. Sports Talk, TMOS. We'll take a break, and we will come back with more fun and more thrills, including a Todd Moore report.
Good.
Right here on the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody.
U.S. asked, and we listened. Now you can listen on Spotify. In our never-ending effort to make it easier for you to access our content, The Mike O'Mara Show can now be streamed on Spotify, just another platform that gives you full TMOS access. So go grab the show and listen, and spread the word. The more you know, the more we grow. TMOS on Spotify. Grab it.
Hey, everybody, this section of the Mike O'Mara Show, or segment, I should say, is brought to you by Quip. Brushing our teeth every day is one of the most important things we can do for our health, but amazingly, most people don't do it right. Quip. We've been telling you about Quip. It is the better electric toothbrush, created by dentists and designers to make brushing your teeth simpler, more affordable, and, yes, more enjoyable. I'm showing you my Quip smile.
I awoke this morning not long after 4 a.m. and still was able to change the brush head on my Quip toothbrush.
You got
That's
up
how
at
easy
4
it is.
a.m.?
Yeah. We have an early start today. Hi. But no, it is so easy to change and maintain your Quip.
It's quick.
That it's, I mean, you just bop, boop, bop, and the new bristles feel sensational.
Quip's sensitive sonic vibrations, gentle enough for your sensitive gums, not abrasive like some electric toothbrushes. Quip also has a built-in timer, so you brush for the right amount of time. Plus, the brush heads are automatically delivered every 3 months, just like your dentist recommends, for just $5. So you'll never be using bristles that are old, worn out, and ineffective. I use Quip, Rob uses Quip, Oscar uses Quip because it guarantees that we are brushing our teeth the right way every day. That's why we love Quip. And that's why they are backed by over 20,000 dental professionals. Quip starts at just $25. And if you go to getquip.com/TMOS right now, you get your first refill pack free with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/TMOS. And we thank you. All right, Todd Moore. Let's talk Todd Moore. Tomo used to be a lot more engaged with this show. And then Tomo became one of the most active political trolls that I've ever seen.
An operative.
And it was truly something to behold. There are days that I thought that he was joking for a while. Then I realized he was serious. Then I started getting really pissed off at some of these posts. But I still like Tomo because he's fun and he's a good guy.
Great guy.
But he has become really a little removed from the Mike O'Mara Show, and that's why I'm doing this segment. I want to know you've rekindled your relationship with him, and I want to know how is Tomo? He moved back from Florida.
3 months, right? He was in Florida for 2 or 3 months.
Forever.
Yeah.
By the way, I would have gone down and gotten together with Tomo, and Carlo looked at these posts, and we looked at this. I said, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that kind of that over the top. He knows my politics, and if you want to have a nice little friendly sparring match, but if he's that over the top, just the joy that made it awkward for us, so we didn't get together.
If Facebook had a font that when you read it, it sounded like, that's the average.
Tomo.
That's Todd Moore's Facebook font.
It's
more sans serif.
Remember, there was a movement where I said I never unfollowed Todd, but I definitely muted him for 30 days at a time.
30 days, Jerry.
And of late, you seem to have reconnected with your regular social schedule. With him.
Make an effort. I'm there for you. I'm very easy to find. I'm either here or at home.
It takes two to make a friendship.
But no, Oscar, you adhere to the, to be a friend, to make a friend, you got to be a friend, and that's true. So, but you're back together with him, and I know when he left, before he left for Florida, it was a little problematic. Where are we at now?
Well, so he left. He left for Florida just to check out the Keys, which is nice. And for years, I've always said to Todd, look, man, you could do your job from anywhere in the world. When are you just going to go do it from anywhere in the world?
I want to go somewhere warm.
They had a fantastic time. Yeah. They absolutely loved it. Right. And I'm talking about him and his wonderful girlfriend, Marissa, a friend of ours as well. They got back in town. He had reached out, and we started hanging out again on and off simply because of the schedules, and he's still running his business. So as we finally get to reconnect, and I'll give you a quick anecdote again, not an antidote, where he stopped by.
Although that might be the better solution.
He stopped by the Saturday. Out of the blue. They called me and said, "Are you home?" Marissa and I are riding our bikes. We rode around the monuments. We'd love to stop by and say hello, which is something.
So he reached out.
Yeah, I haven't had happen in forever. I was like, I'm actually at home. Yeah. I would love you to stop by. Come on through. I have some beers in the fridge. We can hang out.
Okay.
So our friendship, not relationship, because we're not having sex, contrary to popular belief,
Yeah, you never know.
has been rekindled, and we don't talk about politics when we hang out.
So did you consciously rekindled? Love is a many splendid thing. No,
He's
let me ask
as
you about
tall as he ever was.
the not talking
But
about
somehow
politics.
handsomer.
The not talk, is that unsaid, or is it was it a conscious? We are not going to talk about politics.
He knows.
It's understood.
He
knows better.
That he knows that that's not my wheelhouse. I don't
Right.
like what politics have done to not just our friendship, but
the industry.
And Marissa's kind of on his team,
this
correct?
country. Marissa is a supportive girlfriend. That's who she is.
Or is she? Is she?
I don't know her politics because she doesn't really like talking about them either. She doesn't really get
but
into that.
She's kind of supported some of the stuff, and I don't know whether it's just a, I don't know if it's just the girlfriend thing or whether she's she's a Kool-Aid drinker as well, if you know what I mean.
But you know what?
Maybe she's the one who started it.
If they are,
maybe Rob Spiewak.
Maybe he's the supportive boyfriend.
Maybe it's her politics all along.
But I think that's the root of the problem. If they are, that's not my interest. I like them as people. I never got bought into Todd a long time ago, bought into Marissa because of their politics. We just didn't have that layer in our life. And I hate what it's doing to people's friendships, the way people that view other friends, the way people are breaking up friendships. And I'm trying to fight against that by saying, look, I get it. Things are different.
It almost broke up yours.
Well, because we were sitting there and he kept on talking about politics, and I was like, dude, this is not what we come over to do. We come over to play board games, hang out and drink heavily, and talk about the marketplace of apps and podcasting. That's what we do.
And didn't it bother your wife a little bit?
Yeah, well, because it wasn't fun anymore. Like it was, and I think before Florida.
But you never had like the discussion.
No, before.
Where, hey, I don't want you to do this
anymore. Before they left for
anymore.
Florida, I said, we don't come over here to talk politics. Like, I'm open to having an open conversation about, if it's going to be if it's going to go both ways. Right. But I'm not open to sitting here and
listening to you pontificate.
Or actually take a deep dive into all of this. That's not who I am. That's not the way I've been built.
Oh, I bet he had a ball in the keys. I bet he was rubbing elbows with everybody that felt the same way.
That's what I think.
He came back from the keys, and he's been. I think
you're good people.
We've had a better friendship,
right?
Good. Because I think that for him, he probably said, he's like, look, this is my best friend. If he's telling me, hey, this is not my wheelhouse,
right,
and it's affecting at times,
that's smart,
like our time together, then there's no need for this.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need for this. Like, why would you troll the one guy that tells you he doesn't care?
Right.
And that's a primer for probably maintaining friendships. Whether you were a zealot, which you're not, so it's easier for you. Mm-hmm. Yes. But even if you were like me, it would probably. Well, it's. By the way, I live that life every day. Of my every day. I am still identified by these guys.
Yeah.
And
on the other side.
On the other side,
right?
I think that sometimes, I'll get, hey, this was really a good time. Somebody said with a little question mark on the end. It's like, I'm not going to talk to you about Kamala Harris the whole time around, riding 18 holes of golf. But anyway, we'll talk about it.
It's amazing you were able to put that aside, Mike. That's really great.
Yeah, but you know what? But now that I've moved by it, I have wonderful relationships because but you know what I'm doing now, Oscar?
Yes.
I'm shutting them down when it starts.
Smart.
Because
Quietly ask
especially
them, yes.
Well, no, I loudly because sometimes when we're all sitting together as a joke, somebody will bring hey Mike, did you read? I said, we're not doing that. I don't do that up here.
Is that normally after about 3 beers that someone thinks that's going to be funny?
Yeah. Or even the guy that didn't drink. So he brought it up, and I shut him right down. Good. And it worked.
Good.
And it worked. And it's great, and I'm happier because of that. But, of course, we're not close to the election yet. That's when all bets will be off. I may move.
Try to remind yourself.
Or they will.
How this I'm serious. Look, I know that we make a lot of jokes about my interest in politics at my expense. But think about where we are right now. We are talking about personal friendships, lifelong family members that have lost family members, that no longer see each other because this idealism of who you believe in and who you want to lead has completely changed. It's religion. It's turned into religion. We have friends that are Muslims. We have friends that are Jewish. We never think twice about that. Like, if we could just get to a place where it doesn't have to be this way.
It's certainly not the way the government was designed to be.
No.
I agree. And, when I hear it articulated that way, I think that you make a lot of sense. But it's important for us to all remember one thing.
What's that?
It's Trump's fault. Anyway, let's take a break here. And then
forget it. I'm going back to Florida.
Good point. Anyway, we'll take a break and we'll Rob had it right. Todd in Florida. That's what I thought.
Exactly.
We'll take a break. Come back with Oscar's Take
Oscar's
right here. A good one this week on the Mike O'Mara Show.
It's Political Persuasions.
Hey, it's Chris Freites with Political Persuasions. This week, Mike and I talk about the Trump administration's immigration policy and the power struggle between hardliner Stephen Miller and Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law. And the 350 Democrats running for president. Is it good for the party? Tune in.
You can download Political Persuasions at politicalpersuasions.com, iTunes, Stitcher, and wherever fine podcasts are found.
He was very lucid during that promo.
I invite everyone to, if you haven't checked out Political Persuasions, you must. And this week is a good gateway episode because Chris is sleepy.
Yeah, with his new baby.
He has lots to say with very little filter. Good guy.
That's great. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Take it from me, buying a bra can be awkward.
Yes.
No, seriously. I've been talking about Third Love. Ask any woman, getting the right size bra seems damn near impossible until now. Thanks to Third Love and their Fit Finder quiz. Just answer a few simple questions and you'll find your perfect fit in 60 seconds. Third Love uses data points generated by millions of women who have already taken their Fit Finder quiz to design bras focused on breast size and shape.
Yes.
So you get a perfect fit and a premium feel. It will be the most comfortable bra you ever wear. Thanks to the lightweight, super thin memory foam cups, only Third Love has them. Try one on at home. No more awkward fitting room experiences. There is a 100% fit guarantee. If after 60 days you don't love it, return it, and Third Love will wash it and donate it to a woman in need. And the next time I talk about Third Love, we will show you Carla's coming in, we'll show you the Third Love bra.
Nice.
Third Love has a perfect bra for everyone. So right now, they're offering our listeners 15% off their first order. Go to thirdlove.com/TMOS right now to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/TMOS for 15% off today. And now it's time for Oscar's Take.
Oscar's Take!
A review and comment on the news of the day, as only our Bolivian bloviator can do it. The views expressed by Mr. Oscar Santana do not in any way represent the views of this show, our listeners, or the right-thinking people of the United States of America. And now, without further ado, Oscar's Take.
Oscar's Take.
Oscar, a new study found the most common childhood memories are these. Christmas with your family. We were doing a little memory lane earlier in the show. Going to the beach, going to your grandparents' house, hearing the ice cream truck, and playing in the park. I was just curious how on Oscar's Take you would line up with Christmas, the beach, the grandparents, the ice cream truck, and playing in the park.
My earliest memory, and remember, I'm an immigrant, so it was walking onto an Eastern Airlines plane.
Really?
Dressed up in a little suit. And that's when we were coming to the States.
So it wasn't an abandoned plane?
Okay. It wasn't Con Air.
No. And you had, and in fairness to the discussions that we have today, you had a legal immigration to the United States and did so from a successful family. Your dad was a successful man, a doctor down in Bolivia, and you came to the United States under the best of circumstances, and it was still extremely difficult for your family when they got here.
Well, because we had to go through the immigration. So my father, just to give a little background, he was here on a diplomatic visa. So when we came to the States, it was supposed to be year to year. We were going to go back to Bolivia as soon as the contract ended. And my mom had the foresight to say, this is the land of opportunity. This is the best country in the world. I want to give my kids the best of the best. I'm going to pursue immigration status on a different track than my father, where she took a job that she was, overqualified for, but that was the one trade she could get into, which was not her trade and her education level in Latin America. And then this beauty shop owner, when we were kids, said that they would sponsor her. So they sponsored her for years.
So she got the job, then they sponsored her?
Yeah, but her path, that she had the foresight to say, I need to get a job.
That's amazing.
And then I got to get sponsored, and I'll take a job that's below my education level, but I'll learn that trade, and I'll learn to love it and sacrifice to figure out how I could get my kids into an opportunity that could benefit them in the future, right?
And look what she did. Look what Mama Santana did for all those kids. That's pretty special.
To say
Get her
that,
the plot. Buy her the plot.
A double wide, a nice one in the shade.
So, my affinity for my mom doesn't just come from her being my mom. I know how much she sacrificed for me to be sitting in this chair, to have the opportunities I've had for my sister and my brother. Like my father, he worked and made a lot of this possible. But my mom had the foresight to say, you'll become Americans, you'll become proper citizens, and I will sacrifice everything for it.
Someday, son, you will learn the word anecdote.
It's on the air.
You know what? It almost makes me not want to ever do the Larry King bit again.
Oh, no. Do not, please. Almost.
You are listening. That was a sweet story. I love that. You're listening to Oscar's Take. Oscar, there's a new dating term called cloaking. I don't know if you've heard it. It's kind of like ghosting, where you just disappear and don't return texts or phone calls. But cloaking is even more heartless. Listen up. Instead of just ignoring them, you block the person on every app you've used to communicate, like dating apps, Facebook, Instagram, and you block their number. So there's literally no way to get in touch with you. Cloaking. God.
Wow.
A reporter in the UK coined the term this month after she got stood up on a date. The guy never showed, ignored her calls, and when she tried to hit him up on the dating app they'd been using, he blocked her. So it's total dissing, total cloaking. That would make a person, if you're on the receiving end of that, I would think you would be devastated. That's so nasty.
Well,
horrible.
It's so easy to do. It's fascinating. Mike, this is an extension of this lack of interpersonal skills that this new generation has. And I'm talking about if you're probably 30 or younger at this point, that the idea of you just sending a text is too much to say, this isn't working out, it's not you, it's me, or, I'm moving, or even like the ghosting side of, I just got stationed in Texas. Like, I'm not into long-distance relationships. Say something.
Yeah, something.
Say something, but no, it's the era of zero courage. No one has
courage,
any
zero
courage.
Accountability, not communicating. Here you go.
I'm just ghosting you, and now I'm cloaking you. You're listening to Oscar.
Better than docking.
It's not a category.
Disney announced a bunch of details on their streaming service, Disney Plus. It'll launch. We should probably make this Rob's take too. It'll launch on November 12th and cost $6.99 a month. It'll come stocked with a ton of existing Disney movies and shows, plus every episode of The Simpsons, 3 new Marvel shows, and a new Sandlot TV show.
Okay,
that's the new Disney Plus. What's
this is of interest, and it should be to everybody, to myself and most of the people that are in my lives, because we think about where our dollars are going for subscriptions.
Right.
And I never thought I'd feel like, oh man, Netflix has a true rival. But they have their grips, especially with the merge for Fox or the takeover of the Fox movie side of the business and their television, some of the television properties. They are going to own such large brands that I think the $6.99 is going to be a drop in the bucket for most people on top of their Netflix, because they're going to want to go see the Avengers movies on demand. They're going to.
Where do you think this leaves Hulu and places like that? Do you think this is going to edge them out a little bit? Or?
This is, and you're not going to be shocked by this. Disney, ABC owns a big piece of,
like 40% or something, because that came with Warner, right?
Because they got a big chunk of it. They
so
owned
eventually,
it before. So
there will be one.
You'll
That's
see,
America.
No, what it'll be a bundle. And and here's what Disney. Can I jump in for one
please.
second? I think Disney is playing this so smart by announcing a $6.99 price point.
Second mover advantage.
Right after Netflix sent the apologetic, well, we're raising prices.
$12 a month now.
So what this is, people are going to think, well, we might as well do it. Anyone who has a kid under the age of 10 will almost be required to get it. And think of those millions and millions of $6.99s trickling in to Disney based 90% on content that has been gathering dust.
And
it's a license to
Mike,
print money.
They're going to bundle it for what, $9.99 instead of the $12 with the ESPN Plus.
Right.
Like they own these large properties. They already have premier bundles. So it's going to be, it helps us because we're going to get more for less.
Yeah.
It's going to keep the prices at Netflix where they are because they're going to have a big competitor. But also Apple is still trying to find their way, and they'll announce in the fall as well.
Yeah, they try to sneak in and tell you. By the way, here's your new streaming service.
And it's going to cost something. Apple's press conference was, like 4 hours? And what the takeaway was, oh, yeah, we're going to do one, and it's going to cost something, and it's going to start sometime, and here you go.
You're listening to Oscar's Take, ladies and gentlemen. Oscar Tim Williams is the guy in the commercials.
Hey, how you doing there, Mike?
No, that's not Tim McWilliams. It's Tim Williams.
Oh, sorry.
He is the guy in the commercials for that hotel booking site Trivago. You've seen this guy all over.
You're so hot for him.
Oh my God! Who is that
on
man?
Wednesday, he found himself in less than ideal accommodations when he got busted for DUI in Houston.
Oh God!
Tim was found passed out at the wheel on the road with his foot on the brake after Trivago. After failing, he looks like he likes a drink. After failing a field sobriety test, he was arrested, booked, and then released on bond. There's no word on what his blood alcohol content was. Tim has been doing the Trivago ads since 2014. He's also had minor parts in The Sopranos. I don't remember him in that. And in several movies, including Beyond the Sea and Valkyrie.
Hey,
I didn't see him in Valkyrie.
You know what? He'd make a great Nazi.
There you go. Well, if he's in Valkyrie, he had to be a Nazi because it's all Nazis.
That's all it is,
Valkyrie.
yeah.
This guy is the you got to get Adele guy for 2019.
Yeah.
You got to get Adele guy. Had his life like just completely change. That kid. Then he got busted for smoking weed when weed wasn't cool or legal.
Right.
Yep.
And then he was done for. This guy had the best gig ever. You'd get this Essie commercial with this guy come up in front of a green screen, and somehow that company succeeded.
Absolutely.
And then they all like, oh, the Trivago guy. Oh, and you bet there's going to be association, especially with this world of ride-sharing services, of how you get home when you're hammered. And watch, his job will not be the same.
Do you think he could advertise an app that could get you like 40% off your bail money? For J-Lo.
You're listening to Oscar's Take. Finally, Oscar, according to a new study, the facial hair of primates, including humans, may also be a sign of small balls. Hair is considered an ornament, an outward display of masculinity. I think about this when I think in terms of baseball, where you see the guys with shoulder-length hair and beards down to their navels. Well, you know, it's
also at Tim Bertina's show.
Sure, we'll go with that. Hair is considered an ornament, an outward display of masculinity, and testes a weapon, a way to actually sexually compete with other males in the species by reproduction. The research found that humans, as well as large primates, physically lack the energy to have both a large ball sack and bushy facial hair at the same time. The study shows whether the hair manifests as a beard on human men or fluffy sideburns on a monkey. It doesn't matter. Neither have the capacity to produce lots of sperm while growing copious amounts of facial hair. That is your final story for Oscar's Take today.
That is fascinating.
Stop that, Jim.
But I will say,
that's a lot.
You know, it's funny because you're like, in my head, I'm processing this. I'm like, I wonder if I've seen other dudes' balls. Like, are they smaller? And then the idea that you even have to ask that is another conversation. I think today's man,
great store
for beards, it is such a fashion statement.
Right.
Instead of hey, let me grow my beard because I'm wild and crazy and I'm on a
all the
duck
guys
hunter
that are
show.
doing. All the guys that are doing the cloaking have the big beards because they don't have any balls. There, that's full circle. That's Oscar's Take.
I think it's a style thing.
It's a style thing. We might disagree on
Hey,
that.
lady, my chin is up here.
Follow
We'll
this
take
chick.
a break, and we will come back with the final audio vault of the week with Rob Spiewak right here on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Mike, guess who's back?
Oh, it's your boy Paulie again. Now, I heard some of you P1s don't have Alexa, but you do have Google Home. Well, guess what? The Mike O'Mara Show is also on Google Home. Check it out. Hey, Google, play the Mike O'Mara Show podcast.
Okay, resuming podcasts. The Mike O'Mara Show, number 2208, full course meal.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Today's episode of the Mike O'Mara Show is brought to you by our...
That's unfriggin' believable, eh?
I love him. Mike. I love you, Paul Christine.
He sent me bookended promos.
I tell you, you know what? With that effort, I will no longer play the fart sound effect during his promos.
For 1 week.
Let it be.
For 1 week. Thank you, Rob. Thanks for letting me give me the out there. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. It's nearly Sunday at Augusta. It's the second one like this, but I'll give it to you. Yes, Masters Weekend is here. Are you ready for it? Well, if you need to stock up on essentials for the Masters, then look no further than the TMOS Shopping Center. This is internet shopping at its finest, which just happens to be the topic of this announcement. Isn't that right, NBA legend Bill Walton?
Right.
So, whether you need a Gary Player punch bowl or a Tom Kite pubic hair removal...
Whoa.
What?
The hell?
This Tom Kite is a golfer. He was very popular in the 80s. Yeah.
or a Tom Kite pubic hair removal kit, a Lee Trevino personal massager, or a tube of Chi-Chi Rodriguez zit cream, or some of Phil Mickelson's delicious buckets of dry-freezed prepper food. Or maybe you want a tube of Lee Elder personal lubricant. He brought golfers up from the 60s, man. The TMOS Shopping Center has it all. It's on our website, and it gives you unfettered access to Walmart, Target, and Macy's. Not only do you get all the stuff you love, but you're supporting the Mike O'Mara Show. Costs you nothing, means the world to us. So get ready to swing away at the TMOS Shopping Center, where bargains are par for the course. Let's open up the audio vault. Here he is, Rob Spiewak. Stop doing the Jim Nance impression. Thank you.
Is Tom Kite on the seniors tour? Is he still out and about?
You got me with Tom Kite.
Big
Tom
glasses
Kite.
on Tom Kite. I remember that.
Big super glass.
This I play for Pony, but I think this is on the national consciousness. The show comes back this Sunday. Woo!
Big deal.
All in.
Big deal.
All in. After the Masters, it's Game of Thrones. My chair is going to have an indentation on it, starting at about 3 o'clock on Sunday.
Now, I have to ask, can I start this season and will I be okay?
Yes.
Yes.
I can begin right
You
with this.
should.
Okay.
Yeah, Rob, dive in this season and just have fun with it. I think it'll be fun for you.
You'll want to go back. It's that good.
All right. Well, you know what? I have them on demand, but I will start with the first episode so I can be current.
Well, there are also a couple of episodes. Aren't they doing the marathon thing on HBO?
Oh, yeah, I've got a million of them in my DVR,
2,000
too.
plus cast members have been killed on Game of Thrones over the past few seasons.
God, that's like WJFK.
So when people, when characters are prominent and they pass, it's like you start all over again.
That's fun.
So you're good.
It's all things to all people.
Or killed in this
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I'm all in.
I didn't know
think
the
it's great.
name, Mike. I didn't know the name Chris Cimino. He is the WNBC weatherman on Channel 4 in New York. So when Al Roker says, let's see what's going on in your neck of the woods, he's the guy they cut to. But it's New York, so it's a big deal. You would think he would know when his mic was on.
That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
He's a person who's passed on, too. It's such a weird thing. It's just strange.
Oh, no. God.
But I think if I didn't do that, I wouldn't allow myself.
And that's your latest weather, Savannah.
So, Mike, from now on, when we swear, I'll just do this. And we'll know to throw it back to network.
That is a great edit. Oh, my God.
But that happened on the Today Show yesterday in New York only, on the New York cutaway. So he's talking about some guy dying and dropping an F-bomb.
Yeah, well, at least it's a small market.
40% chance. 40% chance of being fired. Let's see. Oh, this was odd. Kristen Cavallari.
Oh yeah, The Hills.
Yeah, she has got her new reality show coming up called Very Cavallari, and she is married to.
Oh God, Jesus, the quarterback,
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler, yeah.
And I found this odd that this was not only included in the show but used to promote the show, talking about the time that her milk ducts got backed up.
Ooh.
I had like major clogged ducts. Jay had to get them out for me.
What?
Sucking harder than he's ever sucked. And you know what? Saved my life.
I will say this. If you say that's the hardest he's ever sucked, you never had him on your fantasy team. Now, with the unboxing videos seemingly in your rearview mirror, do you still want a showbiz career for little Michael?
No, probably not.
Because guess who they're bringing back?
Who?
Mikey.
What's this stuff? Some cereal. It's supposed to be good for you.
No.
Do you try it? I'm not going to try it. You try it. I'm not going to try it. Let's get Mikey.
Yeah.
He won't eat it.
He'll eat everything.
That's right.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
Now, here's the thing that's so great.
My whole life I had to deal with that crap.
I
had to
hate
deal with
that commercial.
I got that my whole life. People, hey, Mikey, he likes it. Eat it, Mikey. He likes it.
He'll
Oh,
eat-
God,
he'll
did
eat
they get that
anything.
back?
That's where the
Jesus, that's not fair. No, I'm sorry. You don't understand what you've opened up here. This is not cool.
Wait, it gets
I don't
better.
like this. No, this is a warning. Warning. I don't want Mikey coming back.
Mike is coming back, and all the auditions are at Walmart.
Oh, God.
So everyone will say a swear word, and then we'll hear. Let's close with this. I did a little research. You were so put off by the fact that David Hasselhoff is making his heavy metal album. I was able to find the first cut leaked. So we'll close with this. I don't know if you're going to like it or not.
He's covering Iron Man?
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
I'm going to stop. No, 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 no. This is a mess. No, 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 no. I'll be fine. No, 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 no.
I get it.
No, no.
Well, it's got a good beat. You can dance to it. I give it a 72.
That's
your
wonderful.
Magic Audio Vault. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Another one in the can. Thanks for joining us for another riveting episode of the Mike O'Mara Show. If you would like to leave a message for the Yak Shack, it's 888-920-MORE. That's 888-920-6673. Leave us your calls, especially on the weekend.
Yes.
Anything you want to talk about, we'll be playing your yaks anytime. You never know when it's going to happen. Also, drop some stuff in the mail for Rob Spiewak in the mailbag. We have that for you, too.
And your
We
cities.
love.
Your cities.
New cities for the opening of the show as well. We want all of that. Weekends are the best time to think about the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. For Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana, Mike O'Mara saying have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
So long.
Ciao, ciao.
Before you go, please make a mental note. Today's show is made possible by the TMOS bonus packages. You can secure yours right now by going to MikeO'MaraShow.com and clicking on the red bonus banner. Buy it or give it. Either way, you're helping out TMOS, and that's a good thing. Thank you, and go in peace.
Thank God it's Friday!
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left. Yes, I have. Look, just a flesh wound.
Napoleon, don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day. Besides, we both know I'm training to become a cage fighter.
I wouldn't trust you to lick a postage stamp.
Goodbye.